Joe Biden might have done a job appealing, a really good job appealing to moderate voters last week in the debate. But the truth is, he didn't do himself any favors trying to distance himself from Bernie Sanders and all of the progressives that support Bernie Sanders. I have Farron Cousins with me from Trial Lawyer Magazine to talk about it. Wow. I mean, it seemed to me that Bernie Sanders was out front for him. I mean, Bernie Sanders took it on the chin by all of his base to come out and defend Biden. And then Biden the other night, what was it, just an old folks moment, or the medication wasn't right? What happened?
Well, Trump actually did a really good job of making Biden offend, really, the progressive left of the Democratic Party. He constantly said, well, you Bernie Sanders is pulling the strings, you like Bernie's plan, and Joe Biden would have to say, no, I don't. I am the Democratic Party, Joe Biden said at one point. And that's a terrifying thought to anybody who calls themselves a Democrat. But Trump laid the bait for him, because as soon as Joe Biden would say, no, I don't like Bernie's plan, Trump would say, you just lost the progressive left. It was a brilliant trap, to be honest. The first time I've seen Trump really play politics like that. And Biden fell right into it and angered the entire progressive left.
But he went out of his way. I mean, he attacked the guy, Bernie Sanders, this old character who's there for him, goes on the air for him, says, this is the guy, progressives unite around Biden. Please do this for me, Bernie. And then this freak, in the middle of the debates, starts calling him, like he's some crazy old socialist. Right. Same way with AOC, right?
I mean, distance from all the policies that they put forward, the Green New Deal. And even though Biden has a very good climate plan, he made certain to tell people this is not the Green New Deal. I do not support the Green New Deal, which is actually a popular piece of legislation, or an idea, really. It's not necessarily legislation.
Okay, so Markey and AOC. Okay, right. You got Markey and AOC with this legislation that has some real potential. Yeah. It's got a lot of crazy stuff in it, but it's got some real potential, to tell you the truth. So the last thing he ought to do is distance himself. Right. He needs to embrace it, say this is a good idea, because, look, he's our next president. If I'm looking at the polling I'm looking at today, 16 points after the debate. What's your take?
Well, that to me was shocking. I immediately thought after that debate, I said, okay, Biden went in with the most to lose, and I don't think he lost anything, but I don't think he gained anything. The whole thing was a chaotic mess. I mean, I think that is the best description of it.
Well, let's talk about that. I want to talk about the world looked at that chaotic mess, Farron.
Yeah,
the world looked at what as they looked at that chaotic mess. What's their take on it?
Well, they're shocked, one, that America has devolved into this, because I think really this is the first time that the rest of the world is paying such close attention to, things like our debates. They always pay attention to our politics, but not necessarily the way that we do. We see this all the time. This was nothing new, but the rest of the world finally got a good taste of what we have been seeing for 20 years.
Okay, so here it is. From the UK, national humiliation. It made me weep. Dog whistling, blatant dog whistling. That was the night that we watched. Chaotic, childish, grueling. It was impossible to watch. A terrible storm that came from France, Germany, a TV duel like a car accident between two dummies. That was the take. Two old crazy guys up on stage yelling at each other. How do you take anything? But the point is, Biden weathered it, and I do believe he's going to be elected president of the United States, short of something I'm not seeing right now.
Right. I mean, based on everything we have available at this moment, it certainly looks like Biden has this. But I think the rest of the world is also a little shocked at this moment, because they understand, and they've been dealing with Trump for 4 years. So they either say, well, we've got 4 more years of this or 4 years of this guy.
Yeah.
And neither one of those is a good prospect for them, because we had both friends and enemies abroad saying this is hell.
Yeah,
this is hell what's coming out
a lot of the criticism was, this is your choice? Yeah. Really? This is your choice?
Right. 330 million people, and we got these two bozos.
Yeah. Media outlets around the world reacted with shock and horror last week during the presidential debates. And, the truth is, as we talk about that, what impact does that have on us, Farron? This international, oh my God, I can't believe this is playing out in front of me. What do you think?
Well, I think people have to understand that this isn't just look, everybody's laughing at us, we're silly. These are our allies. These are people we need for trade. These are people we need for national security issues. We have to have cooperation from these countries that are now looking at us as if we are the parent who's letting their toddler run all around the restaurant using their crayons and writing on the walls.
Let me tell you something. If you look at this, this international review of the two dummies on stage, this was not kind to Biden either.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and so that's really the big takeaway. Well, okay, this is it. This is the best you have, really. I mean, that was the international. This is the best you have, really. Anyway, Verizon is looking to dump their ownership of the Huffington Post as readers abandon that liberal outlet. We've been talking about this so long, haven't we? Okay, Verizon is forced. They literally are forced to buy this thing called HuffPost that never made any money. It had such a narrow niche that it never will make any money. And they were forced to buy it on that $4 billion acquisition. But now they're trying to get rid of it, and they can't even get rid of it. I mean, it sounds like a fire sale.
It really does, and it is sad almost to a degree. You know, a lot of us, Huffington Post has been around, and they've been doing this just as long as you and I have. But Huffington Post evolved in the wrong way. In the early days, Huffington Post was where you went. It's where the intellectuals would post their articles. You didn't have to wait for it to come out in a major newspaper. They could just do it whenever they had these thoughts and ideas, and that's what it was. It was instantaneous. And then, after it got sold to AOL, they got rid of the good-named writers. They got rid of the investigative journalists from Huffington Post. And instead, they moved it into more of the infotainment. You know, 20 top pieces of clothing that you need to wear this summer. Things like that. Instead of saying, here's where the opioid crisis is hitting the hardest, we were on the ground.
That's what they used to do.
Right.
Okay, so now you have this organization. It is going to be a fire sale. I mean, if you're working for HuffPost right now, get out. Because Verizon's going to do whatever they can to get rid of it. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to start cutting so dramatically. So, there used to be a couple of investigative writers. They're gone. They've moved on to really good organizations.
Right, they have.
They've moved on to The Intercept, right? BuzzFeed, some of those places.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is they have this shell that they used to have these kids coming out of college, and they would get paid $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year to almost slave labor wages.
Yeah.
To keep things turning up. They used to have celebrities that would write stories for free. You know, me and my vacation in Pango Pango. They used to have these things that you say, well, you know, it sounds like fluff. I'll read it anyway, just to see how bad this organization has fallen. But now it's even worse. Have you seen the public where you write your own story and they print it for you?
Yeah, that is absolutely a joke. And then on their political side, which again, they used to have really good, hard-hitting political information. And that's the difference. There's no more information. They'll take a bunch of tweets that they found. Oh, Trump tweeted something stupid. Here's all the crazy responses to it. Look at these people. They're really going after him. That's not journalism. That's filler.
Yeah.
And anybody can dunk on Trump or dunk on Biden all day, but they don't have any substance behind it.
Right. We won't be making any offers to HuffPost
Definitely not.
or their writers. Thank you for joining me, okay?
Thank you.